Okay, we have just done with the presentation this morning. So next, we are going to go for the factory tour and to see the whole production of a bike. Let's go. And now we're inside the assembly plant, and I think this is the first part of the assembly, which is ready from the real raw material. Like you see all these tubes here, these are the raw materials that they use for their bikes, and basically they have steel, chromoly, as well as alloy, all this raw material, and most of them are actually sourced here locally in Indonesia, and some of them imported as well. So see, all these are going to be shipped and molded into the parts of the bike.
The raw materials is come, they will cut into section for a complicated cut. We do a laser cut, and then we put into jig, and then we make sure there's no gap, no big gap. As you can see, there's no gap. There's very minimum gap.
Yeah.
Because if there's a gap, they will impact the strength of the frames, anything. So we make sure everything is joined very well. So this is a process of laser cutting. We can see the machine is moving to X, Y, and Z axis. Not only the laser that moving, but the object also moving.
So it's very precise cutting.
Yes, very precise. Because this one is not easy to cut by a manual machine. As you can see, this is not easy for manual cutting.
Yes.
So they will use laser cutting like this. And before they put the materials to laser cutting, they will do a simulation like this. You can see they simulate everything from the software to minimize any failure or anything.
Wow, so actually there's a lot of technology put inside already. All this has been programmed before they even go into here. Hence the precision and accuracy.
Yes.
So you can see rows and rows of these green machines here, and these people here are actually cutting and shaping all these tubes into the different parts of the bike before they are sending for the welding.
For a simple cut, they can do with a simple machine like this. This one is very simple. It's very different with laser process. Because manually.
Okay.
More sharp edge.
Okay.
Very dangerous. This one.
Okay.
With laser, you can do all this with one process.
Okay.
But in manually, we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. But when do you then decide to use the laser? And when do you? What are the bikes?
Now, the laser process using in mid high frame.
Okay. And also because the design for those bikes to be more complicated, so this is the tools that they actually put into these machines, cut the tubes into different shapes. So when they push it down like that, you actually see that when they cut it, you get a curved surface from the tube. Each of them actually just do one task and on one of these tubes. So there is very little margin of error. They just have to repeat the same thing and do the same thing. So everything comes out very uniform and very precise as well.
Now we are going to welding area. For welding, we have to make sure that everything is clean.
This is what welding?
Tack weld.
Tack
welding.
Tack welding.
To make this is just for make sure
the frame is not deformed.
Okay.
After the welding process, because the heat process in the alloy material is very easy to deformation.
Very easy to deform. Okay.
So we need to check first to make sure the geometry is fixed, and after that.
So actually after the tubes are being cut and drilled, so they'll be put inside here for the welding. But before the welding, they actually wash it first, clean it, and then they come to here the welding. And imagine this whole section, again, everyone is just doing one job. So like one of them will just put them together and then fix them, make sure that the frame don't move about, and then pass to the next guy who do another one job, weld one component one side, and eventually this whole section will complete one frame.
Alignment.
Alignment. Okay.
Therefore, that's to make sure that everything is complete to the geometry, no any deformation.
Okay.
You can see, we check everything is good.
So that's why you realize that it's every time their frame, when you try to repair it, when you try to fit in all these bearings, it's always precise and always fits well. See, if there's a little bit of misalignment, this is where they're going to correct it.
But the price is going down. There's more working so that will be the
So other than manual welding, they actually have robotic welding as well.
So basically, for one frame, they will require about 3.5 minutes for a frame. For one frame.
Wow.
But for human, they can do 1 minute for a frame.
Wow.
Yes, human is faster, but there's a lot of process.
Ah,
For one frame, they require 7 person for welding.
Okay. Wow.
Yes.
So
Human is faster, but they
human
have a
is
lot of
actually
process.
faster than robot, but they actually require more labor.
So they start the welding. They will do programming first, trial. You can see they do the simulation.
Or to trial the process of
Yes,
to
yes.
test. So make sure that this is correct. So one or two, then they put into that one. Those are all automated.
Yes, correct.
There are two ovens here. So basically they call T4 and T6. So these ovens are actually, they operate in different temperature as heat treatment for the frame. First, over here at very high temperature, and basically to loosen up the particle, loosen up the frame. And if there's any misalignment, they go back here and do the alignment, make sure that's perfect before going for the final heat treatment, which is at a different temperature. And that final heat treatment will kind of harden the whole structure. And inside this oven also there are water, but the water is mainly just for dipping it and cooling them down. Then after this two, it's really a finished product. Okay, so this is like what we seen earlier on, but earlier on we're just seeing like one part. Now we have a fully welded frame, and so they're aligning the whole frame. It's all being aligned to this jig now. So this is like really important process. So they randomly pick out some of the frames from the bench and do a quality check. And this is where they match the finished frame to the initial design. So every angle, every precise measurement. This is really a very important process because quality control to me is one of the #1 thing that you should do to any manufacturing firm.
It's called phosphating. We drain in a chemical water.
Okay.
This, and then put on the oven and then go to painting. Because sometimes, as you can see, there's a lot of dirt
Yes.
that cannot be cleaned.
So
we need
this
treatment.
chemical
Yes,
treatment
chemical
will clean
treatment.
away all
Clean.
this exterior dirt and imperfections, all these particles that stuck on it.
Yes.
Okay. This is to prep it for the painting later.
Because this one cannot be painted.
Okay, now we're inside their the paint room. If we come into this room, we have to wear a protection because this place we need to free it of any dust. So everyone coming in has to wear a protection, a plastic wrap on their shoes. First we go and see the primer. This is after washing already.
Yes.
Yeah, all the screw hole they put inside, so the paint don't go in.
Yes.
Even for the small things, for example, like butter.
Just the primer is already 3 different layers of paint going onto it to prepare it for the actual paint job itself. So we don't go too close because when they are actually doing the sanding of the frame now, there'll be a lot of particles. That's why you see they are all wearing like masks.
So this is for painting test.
Sorry?
Painting test.
Okay.
To make sure the painting quality is good, they cut
We need to
with a cutter,
with this one.
horizontal and vertically.
Make sure if the
And then
paint
use
is
a
not
tape.
filled up.
For the paint painting, if you put it in with tape,
Almost square.
the paint will stick. See, there's only scratch, but it doesn't peel off. This called
And
namanya
then
apa mas?
the
Drop test.
test is the drop hole test.
Drop test.
So how our painting process is already in the standard, which is the
Higher
one.
standard this one.
This one is the sharp enough, right? This is the R3, this is the R1. So we will drop from the 500 millimeters.
Ah, okay.
And then if the paint black, it means the paint is quite pale.
Thickness.
1 to 1. Check this one.
One, two, six.
Check this one.
So this called water transfer decals.
Oh,
We put it and then we peel off and then put another clear coating. Frame numbers,
ah.
the barcode before they go to assembly.
So SP process, whoever that touched this frame before will be all traced. And if there's a error or there's a defect, right,
claim.
you know where is the problem. I can go back there and correct it.
Correct.
So there's really a lot of attention that they put in to make sure that the whole line works properly and they're able to trace every problem, if there is any, immediately and correct it. Otherwise, I think it will be a really huge problem, because if imagine you just one problem happen at the initial stage and then they have to correct thousands of frames just because of that. Ooh. So we see all the different like components of the bikes here. We could really see a lot of Shimano, a lot of Zoom, Novatech. So all these different components they are all being prepared here and ready for later on. The second floor, where we go there, we'll see the production line in actual motion. This is a automated warehouse system. Whoa. Everyone is just doing one part, you see. So this is the beauty of a line, how they assemble it. This assembly plant is there for assembling, just the assembling part with a ready frame and putting on these products. They can actually churn out 1,200 bikes, fully assembled bikes in one shift. So each day they can do 2 shifts. That means there's 2,400 bikes that they can churn out in just one day at its full capacity. Okay, so this is the pro build area. So this area is where they do a 100% check of the bike that's fully assembled, because most of them are actually sold online. So I mean, in case you buy a Polygon bike online and you're gonna assemble it yourself, you'll realize that everything fits in so nicely. That's why you see this whole line of people here. They are really careful. So look at the checklist. So they actually have a very detailed checklist to check each of these individual components, and they sign it off so that, you know, make sure that everyone is responsible for their part has already checked it. Wow, done with the factory tour, and it took us like more than 2 hours to actually go through the whole process from the bike, you know, from raw material to a finished product. We actually seen through every process, molding them and assembling them and doing the paint job as well and packing. So everything, we got a really good picture of how the bike is being manufactured. And to be honest, this scale is really hard to see. I've been to factories in China and mostly are just assembly plants, but here we really see a lot of the detailed manufacturing process. So these guys have a lot of equipments, a lot of technologies put in to put it into this scale, and it's very impressive to see how much they care about the quality control. After seeing this process, I'm pretty confident in the quality of a Polygon bike. I mean, I really understand that when you buy a Polygon bike and you actually get the kind of quality. I hope you guys enjoy this episode as much as I do. Alright, so thank you for watching. Hope you like this, and do give us a thumbs up and give Polygon a thumbs up as well if you like this video. There was so many people here today to see this factory tour. It's kind of hard for me to cover everything. I hope I did my best. I'm so sorry about that, but please let me know if there's anything that you like about the manufacturing process or anything you want to clarify, you can actually put in the comment box there below and see if we can get the answer for you. Alright, so cheers, bye.